Came 7 o'clock.
Good evening. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Town of Thompson Planning and Zoning Commission to order. It is Wednesday, December 27th, 2023, 7 p.m. here in the Merrill Sinay Community Room at Thompson Town Hall and on Zoom as well. Remind everyone under citizens' comments, please state your name and address. Limit your comments to 3 minutes speaking time unless otherwise directed by the chair. And please address all comments to the chair in a civil and respectful manner. Will you please rise as you are able. All right.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will start with a roll call. Blackmer, Randy Blackmer.
Tom's Orlevac.
Right, North. John B. Lindsay.
Santos.
Jane Salty.
Robin.
Mike Rogle.
Alvin Hill.
Joseph Brody Brown.
No one on Zoom.
At this time, I will seat Ms. Orr Levac for Mr. Williams. And I will move and request to be second to amend the agenda to move items 13A and B to next in order. So it should become 4A and 4B, and to renumber all. Following, yep, to move items 13A and 13B to next in order, so to make those 4A and 4B. And and then reorder the rest of the items. That is my motion.
Ms. Can I make an amendment to that, or do you need a second for that?
I would need a second.
I can second this. So move
You-
forward.
Motion made and seconded, Mr. Lanky.
The only one you have to move is the elected officers, the whole business, because A and B are actually new business.
Yeah, no, see, here's where I am right now, right? So we have two alternates present. We have a regular member who's not present, and we have a regular member whose resignation we've received. I
Correct,
would like both alternates who are here to
fill the spot.
be active in the entirety of the meeting.
Which-
So I am
okay.
moving, my motion would move the acceptance of the resignation and the appointment of an alternate member to replace Mr. Rice earlier in the meeting to allow Mr. Rice's replacement, whoever that may be, to participate in the rest of the meeting.
If you point an alternate tonight to fill either seat, it doesn't matter. If we do the appoint alternate member to replace Mr. Rice, whoever you're gonna appoint to that, they're already an alternate tonight to fill that seat, but they don't become a full-time, they don't get the full-time seat until the adjournment of this meeting or next month or next meeting.
Is that in the ordinance?
It's not,
If Brian is seated as an alternate, he's got full.
he's got full power for tonight, that's it.
Right, thank you, I understand. I am not sure if I have the authority to seat an alternate for a member whose resignation we are receiving.
Yes, you
But we
can.
haven't accepted it yet.
And it hasn't been
It
accepted,
has-
so the
exactly.
one thing that needs to be switched is the election of officers needs to go under old business. That's where it belongs.
Well,
It is old
because it
business.
wasn't finished the last meeting.
Right.
But the thing is, again, when you have the right as the chair tonight to appoint whoever is not a regular that's here tonight, that's what the alternates are for. So they will fill and they get all the voting rights of how you want it, how it can go. But to fill that, have that seat filled, it has to be voted on us under new business, so he becomes a permanent. He's taking a two-year seat that's left by the resignation of Mr. Rice. It's
No,
either way-
I understand that why, but if we fill that seat at the top of the meeting as opposed to later on in the meeting. Why
Then
is
we
that?
gotta
a problem?
change the bylaws. Read the bylaws.
I'm sorry, the bylaws say about what?
It doesn't say anything that we have, that you do, you have to follow by, the bylaws say we have to follow how the agenda is set. Okay, but the thing is,
Mr. Linky, the bylaws have a method by which we can amend an agenda,
you can amend the agenda
and that is what the motion was to do.
and you. All right.
Ms. Salson,
The election of the officers needs to
Is
go
not-
under old.
the election of the
business.
officers was not mentioned in my motion.
Okay, but all right, so we'll vote on your motion and then I will make the motion to put the election of officers in under old business.
Mr. Krogel,
I understand what you are saying, I understand what he is saying. I don't see the difference of whether or not Brian is seated now. If he wishes to have the position. Or later on, because he is still going to have the same
Voting right,
voting rights. So I don't see why
doesn't make a
it should
difference.
get changed.
okay, I withdraw my motion and we'll seat Mr. Santos for Mr. Rice at this time.
And I make a motion that election of officers is put under, amend the agenda, the election of officers is put under old business, which is where it belongs. It was brought over from last month, so it belongs under old business, please.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Langston. Any discussion on the motion to amend the agenda to move item 13C to item 12, old business? Hearing no discussion, a yes vote will amend the agenda, a no vote will keep as written. Mr. Hill.
It's old business.
Oh, I'm up.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, we're not just going to I
Mr.
thought we
Krogel.
were going, all right.
Mr.
Are
Krogel.
you saying yes to the motion?
Yeah,
Or are you
yeah,
saying
yeah.
yes, I'm here?
Yes,
Right, yes.
yes,
No.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
No. No, that's 7 yes votes, 3 no votes. The agenda is amended. Item 4, public hearing, there is none. Item 5, discuss public hearing. There was none. Item 6, citizens' comments.
believe you forgot to seat Santos for Jim Ryan.
No, I didn't,
he did.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mr. I appreciate, yeah, thank you. Any citizens' comments?
That's just Valerie saying like the audio is muddy, not specifically saying she's got a comment otherwise.
Seeing none at this time. Item 7, approve the minutes of the November 27th regular meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
The, on your, the mid, when you, on the, what is it, item? Hmm. New business of last week, when it was, on the elected officers part. The motion made, motion was made by Randy Blackmer for Joseph Corey Brown as chair, Randy Blackmer vice chair, and John Lincoln the secretary. Motion, then was motion made. Nobody, there was no anybody that made made a second to that motion. And I didn't see anything in the minutes of the of the recording or anything, so I'm just curious, who did make that motion for the second?
I don't have it again, made the motion originally.
No, the motion is recorded, the second was not recorded.
Second, it wasn't, so in all reality, by having not.
It might not have been a second, it might not have been. Alright.
Well, this is, but that's what I'm saying, is that it's not in here, so in all reality.
If it's not in there, probably didn't happen the second. Because that went around a few times.
I understand that,
Yeah,
so,
I don't think there was a second on it.
yeah.
so in all reality, that motion,
But I'll write it in there next time, no second on that, if something like that comes up again. And there was no second, just to verify.
okay,
Well, if you could,
Kevin, if there's no second on an open motion and you notice it, you have to mention it so that
Yeah.
somebody can make the second.
Oh,
Yes.
right,
that's the only thing I saw on that whole thing.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln.
Which item number was that again? I'm sorry.
Page 6, it's item,
See,
See,
yeah, 15C. Any other comments, discussions, motions at this time?
yes, I'm sorry,
Well, I'm sorry, what is,
did you,
there is currently no motion on the table for action on the minutes.
I make a motion that we accepted last month's minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Celsi. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Or, thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes will accept, a no will not accept. Mr. Black.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Kaiser Levak, yes.
Ryan Maria.
John Bianchi, yes.
Brian Santos, yes.
James also, yes.
Russell Robbie, yes.
Mike Vogel, yes.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Joseph Birdie Brown, yes. Item 8, applications received, application 23-56, Funford Community Construction, LLC, owner of 0 Logan's Lane, map 137, block 20, lot 6M, zone rural residential agricultural district, will request a 3-lot subdivision in compliance with 2023 amended subdivision regulations, Article 3 and Article 4. Ms. Dunn.
So there's a mistake in the, notice, it should be a 3-lot re-subdivision. And that requires a public hearing, so all you have to do is just accept the application, make an amendment to, correct the body of the, application. And then, vote to accept for a public hearing for the January meeting.
I will move that we amend the application to read in the second line, request a 3-lot re-subdivision. And to accept the amended application for public hearing at our next regular meeting on January 22nd, 2024 at 7 p.m.
Oh,
Second,
Give that one to Ms. Salty.
So, okay.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes vote will amend the application and accept application for a public hearing. Mr. Hill.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Mike Vogel, yes.
Russell Robbie, yes.
James also, yes.
Brian Santos, yes.
John Bianchi, yes.
Brian Maria, yes.
Kaiser Levak, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Joseph Birdie Brown, yes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, we do have some commentary that not everybody is coming through clearly in the Zoom room. For those of you who are more soft-spoken, please use your outdoor voices.
Thank you.
So
Ben.
please keep the, application information for your next meeting, so we don't have to reproduce this.
Oh, you don't want to do it again?
No.
Save a tree.
Couple money.
Yeah, a couple of them.
It's like that, there a chance we can get maybe a copy of the narrative?
So you want a copy, you're saying that you want a copy?
Yeah, I would like a copy of the narrative if
Okay,
it's
all right.
possible.
Okay. Does everybody want a
I
copy?
would like. one,
Okay.
please.
We're not trying to give you more.
No, no, that's, I'm not doing it.
I was gonna say, that's great.
Okay.
Application 2358, Earthlight Technologies, property owner Patrice Bernier and Danielle Wallace of 1012 Aquatic Town Farm Road. map 143, block 16, lot 57, zone RRAD, 7.21 acres to install a ground-mounted 395 square foot solar PV system. Zoning permit with site plan review by commission according to the Town of Thompson zoning regulations. Article 275, 14.5 B and C, subsections 1A through E and 2A through E.
So I don't know if they're on Zoom, because I had, I know I had my discussion with Sarah, who's actually the company, the Earth Light Technologies, and she asked if she will come to the meeting. And I said, you know, if you can do it on Zoom, because they're in Enfield. But it's very simple. They comply with all the regulations for that, district to put their ground mounted solar system.
So my name's Nathan. I'm from Earthlight, and I'm here if you have any questions about this.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Nathan, for the record, what's your last name?
Schneider.
Thank you.
Mr. Hill.
On the site application, it's saying Lake District as a zone. Is it RRAD or Lake District? Maybe.
Did I put in here, okay, so it is Lake District,
I thought so, it's right on the water.
Okay,
Okay,
so it's on,
so it is Lake District.
it is Lake District, right?
Mr. Santos.
Cindy, does it just meet all the setbacks?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Mr. Hill.
Yeah, Cindy, going through this, a lot of data on this particular application, 2358. Yet I did not see any north, south, east, or west on any of the maps.
Right?
I mean, it was just,
So basically on the site map, the ground mount will be facing directly south 180. So that's kind of the way it's facing if you're looking at the map directly.
hopefully it's all southwest, but I didn't see that.
In the top left, there's an arrow pointing north. Just shows
Um,
the opposite is south.
Where,
Oh, okay.
Which one are you on?
oh, yeah, okay, yeah, it was.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay.
Mr. Santos.
The ground mount, I'm looking at Google Earth, just walk me through, like, is it going next to the driveway there, or like, where is this one gonna live?
So it's off of the driveway. If you go to the page PV2, it kind of shows a map. It's about a
Yeah.
50-foot trench, and then it goes to the in-law apartment.
So there's no grade changes or anything like that, it's just going in that?
No, sir.
Okay, good.
It's basically 4 helical piles.
It's open right there, right? There's no trees being removed or anything like that?
Nope, it's completely open.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to accept this for public hearing.
Second.
So this application is made with a site permit review level, which means the commission is within its authority to approve, deny this application with a site review. Thank you. You just withdraw your motion?
Yes, thanks.
Any other action? I'm Cindy, I'm trying to on the fly here. There's no difference in requirements for ground mounted solar in the Lake District or the RR80.
No, there isn't. It's the chart, you know, you have,
Mhm.
you have your solar regulations, you have your chart, and the Lake District said site plan review with commission. And you only had to go through the first two steps, because it was under 1750 square feet. So no, as far as the map and going over to the, no, I don't feel that was necessary. I don't believe the regulations require that to go over to zoning permit and then site plan those two sections, and I think it's Article 4 now.
Thank you.
We didn't have any other questions on this, Cindy, that we need to be concerned about, nothing we're looking. Cindy,
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
there's nothing that.
No, I had no questions. And Sarah had answered everything that I needed answered when I talked to her representative from the office in Enfield.
It's in order, I moved that we approve the
It is in order.
PZC 2358.
Motion has been made to approve application 2358,
I'll second it.
seconded by Ms. Paulson. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes will approve, a no will deny. Mr. Blackmer.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Kaiser Levesque, yes.
Benoit, yes.
Good job, you.
Brian Santos, yes.
Jane Salsi, yes.
Russell Robin, yes.
Mike Vogel, yes.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Joseph Peretti Brown, yes. The
Hey,
motion.
can you get your, Smith, I'll do it up.
Okay.
next. You'll
Thank
get
you very
your-
much, everyone. Have a happy new year.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Schneider,
you.
as well. Application 23-59, Gustafson Allen G. Revocable Trust, Allen Gustafson of 19 Market Lane, map 169, block 93, lot 2, zone DMRD, 0.31 acres, request to increase existing multi-housing from 8 apartments to 11 apartments, increase of 3 apartments, zoning permit with site plan review by commission according to the Town of Thompson zoning regulations, Article 12, 274, 12-2, numbers 21, and Article 4, 275, 4, A and B.
Okay, Alan's here. Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. So I have it's an 8-unit building, which I've owned since 2005, a little over 18 years. And when I bought it, it had just been renovated as an 8-unit building. A while back, I just started looking into expanding into the top floor. It's a 3-story building. The first floor and the second floor have been renovated, the third floor had not, it had just been left in its previous state. There was apartments at one time. In 1986, it was approved for 10 units in the building. Later on, they chose to do it only with 8 without the top floor. So as I said, a few months ago, I started looking into it. I came in here and talked to a few different people in the offices and got a positive response. So decided to look into renovating that top floor. I'd like to put 3 apartments up there. The stairways, everything's in place. There's no alterations to the building itself, other than simply renovating, tearing out the old plaster and all, and of course, having it rewired and rewiring heating systems, all of that. So just going with what is there, we're not changing the footprint, not changing anything structurally on the building. Just using space that was used previously, but for whatever reason, it hasn't been used for, no, at least 18 years.
Ms. Salson.
The people that are living there now, is this gonna make an interference with them while you're doing this, or is it gonna be minimal?
As minimal as possible.
Okay, all right.
And we have been doing some stuff, cleaning out old stuff
Okay.
up there for a little while, and I sent a notice out to all of them, talked to all the tenants, and they're pretty good with it.
No problems.
Oh, no, they know it's gonna be noisy and a little
Yeah.
messy, but what I told him is if I'm able to put the 3 units up there, I can keep their rents low, so they're happy to be.
Yeah, yeah, that works, timeframe, about how long do you see this taking?
Realistically, probably into the next fall,
Okay,
close to a year. As much of the work as I can, I can do myself, but have the plumber, electrician.
yeah, because I'm sure it has to be updated.
Oh, yes.
Because it's been sitting for so long.
Yeah, had the survey done, spoken to the electrician, very expensive. Probably a little bit.
Yeah.
In the end, helpful, it's a building I already have more of the other expenses on it, so being able to add the other apartments. I'm looking at probably a good 100 and a quarter to do the apartments and, work and probably more. Prices have gone up a lot.
Yeah.
And the electric company wants to put in an underground transformer for electricity. I'm not sure all the reasons for that, but they said they can't go beyond 8 units without putting that up. So I've had the survey done, and that's they have that now, looking at that, and they'll decide where, how to put that. That's great expense.
Would just be for, would it be for the whole building or just those 3?
I believe it's just for those 3.
Just for the 3,
I
okay.
don't know, I've been talking with the gentleman from PZC about that for a few months. He was waiting for the survey, which just came in, so I'll be speaking with him soon about. But I do know the entire electrical panel, they believe, has to be replaced. The outdoor panel with meters, which is only 18 years old, but that in itself is about $9,000.
Yes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
things have gone up a lot.
One time that you need to expire, Marshall.
Oh, yes, yes. It's the fire marshal and the building official, I've been speaking with them for several months about it, and they're aware of what we're doing, and the guidelines, and everything looks pretty good.
I just have a question on the parking plan. Are these already existing?
Yeah.
So how did you, what is the parking situation now, and how did that change with the 3 new
The parking
units?
situation now, if everybody has a map of everything else. The side, just talk away that. The side that says Market Lane, that's where most people are parking right now. So those spots are being used, they're not identified, people just park where they're doing. And on the other side, right now, people are just pulling in and parking from either direction. So there's plenty of room for the cars that are there right now, and I guess, but with the parking plan, we can allow for the 3 more apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, so I'm allowing 2 cars for each. And presently, if there is any additional visitors or anything, we seem to park well, flying along the street. That hasn't been an issue at all.
Any other questions from Mr. Gustafson?
Just have a logistical question for Cindy. Did you find the approval for the 10 apartments, even though there's only 8, the prior approval? I don't,
Property card says 5 to 8 families, so that's what I went on.
okay, I'm just.
Yeah.
If it matters to the commission or to you, if he was previously approved for 10 instead of, he's not really asking for 3 more apartments, he's really asking for 1 more.
No, I go by the assessor's card.
Fair enough.
That's what I go by.
Motion to approve PZC application 2359.
I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Santos, seconded by Ms. Salsi to approve application 23-59. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes will approve, no will deny. Mr. Hill.
Melvin Hill, yes.
Mike Koval, yes.
Russell Robin, yes.
Jane Dawson, yes.
Brian Santos, yes.
John Beal, yes.
Ryan Canoyer, yes.
Rise or Levesque, yes.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Joseph Brody Brown, yes. The application is approved. Thank you,
Thank you very
Mr.
much.
I will send your permit out Tuesday. It'll be registered now.
I'll stop in and see you soon.
Okay, all right.
Have a good night. Item 9, report of officers and staff budgets. We do not have a secretary for the report, but are there any questions on the budget as mailed to us? Okay, seeing none, 9B, the planner.
Nothing earth-shatteringly important. The 65 Main Planning Project, as you all know, is ongoing. We had our third workshop last Wednesday, when Wayne Wiseman of the Permaculture Project came out and did a 2-hour essentially intensive on the concepts of permaculture. The next 3 monthly sessions will deal with that topic, with the landscape and site design. So the next one is going to be Wednesday, the 24th of January. That is a change from what it originally was going to be, the first Wednesday of every month, but to space it out better and give Wayne time to develop some concept drawings for folks to look at. We're going to do that on the 24th. I would encourage you all to attend if you are available. That is likely to be a hybrid meeting here as opposed to what we have been doing, which has been meeting at the library. And that's so that the consultant can zoom in from his home in Illinois instead of me paying to fly him out here again. And if you'd like to attend that, just let me know via email, phone call, whatever, and I'll add you to the list. And then the other thing is I was just confirmed to be a panelist on the Connecticut Land Conservation Council's Winter Summit, which is on the Friday, the 19th of January. So if anybody would like to attend that, it's not quite the same thing, Alvin, that you and Brian and I went to. That was their big, huge conference that they do in the late winter, early spring. This is just an all-day conference, one panel in the morning, one panel in the afternoon, talking about conservation and land use. So I think it's $35 a person. And where's And if it's in Hartford at the, I've done,
Starts with an L.
it does, and I can't remember what it's called either. But I've been to conferences there. It's right downtown, but the Lyceum,
Yeah.
the Lyceum. So if anybody would like to go to that, let Cindy know. We'll see what we've got in the budget and we'll.
Go ahead, forward it, because I registered for it today. too.
Yeah.
What is that date?
Friday, the 19th of January, all day.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Yes? Ms. Dunn.
I'm good.
Okay. Item 10, correspondence. We received the commission and committees and the agencies meeting schedule. An item from the town of Webster and an item from the town clerk. Any questions on any of those items? Item 11, signing of Mylars. Application approved November 27th, 2023 for application 23-15. I'll entertain a motion to authorize the chair to sign the Mylar.
Also move.
Motion made by Mr. Blackmer,
I'll second this.
seconded by Ms. Salsi. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes vote will authorize the chair to sign, a no vote will not. Mr. Blackmer.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Kaiser Levesque, yes.
Ryan Knoyer, yes.
John B. Linky, yes.
Fran Santos, yes.
Jane Salsi, yes.
Russell Robin, yes.
Mike Vogel, yes.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Joseph Birdie Brown, yes. Item 11B, application 23-57, application approved November 27th, 2023. I will entertain a motion authorizing the chair to sign the Mylar.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Ms. Salsi,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mr. Krogel. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes vote authorizes the signature, a no vote does not authorize the chair to sign. Mr. Black.
Randy Blackmore, yes.
Kaiser Levesque, yes.
Ryan Knoyer, yes.
John B. Linky, yes.
Fran Santos, yes.
Jane Salsi, yes.
Russell Robin, yes.
Mike Vogel, yes.
Alvin Hill, yes.
Joseph Birdie Brown, yes. Item 12, old business, election of officers.
I would like to nominate a slate of Joe for chair and John Linky for vice chair and Ryan Knoyer for secretary.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Hill.
Okay.
Makes
Um,
sense.
I don't want to, we shouldn't have to vote by slate. It is impelling us to vote for a group of people that we may not agree individually to vote on. I make a motion that we vote for chairman, vice chair, and secretary separately, please. I don't want to have to vote as a group because you're taking away my right to vote individually. And I believe that that is the way it should be done. I don't think, I've sat on this board for 2 years now, and I know it's not a long time considering all the others that have been sitting here. But I have not seen a slate brought forward. I would appreciate it allowing us to vote for independent individuals, not a slate. And I would like to make that motion and have somebody second it so that we vote individually for the candidates.
Motion has been made, regarding the election of officers, the method of election of officers to elect individually as opposed to a slate.
It
There's-
needs to be seconded.
Is there a second?
Second motion.
Seconded by Mr. Robin.
Was there a second on my motion?
There was,
There
Mr.
was.
Hill.
So you need to vote mine down before you can vote on another one, right?
That is correct.
That is correct.
But how, I mean, it's like, I am making an amendment to his motion because I do not want to vote for a slate. I believe my right is to vote for individuals.
Right, so
And you're telling me to vote for a slate, and that's not right.
so the
I
original,
amended it.
so, okay. Only the person who makes a motion can amend their
Okay.
motion.
All right,
So this is a separate motion.
okay,
Mr. Blackmore's motion has precedence as
Okay.
a motion on the question of the election of officers.
okay.
And who was on that slate?
Joseph Brody Brown for chair, John B. Lenke for vice chair, Ryan Canoyer for secretary.
I make a motion that John Lanky be chairman. Mr. Robin, vice, and Mr. Canoyer, secretary, individually.
Sorry. I don't understand.
So
Are you moving a slate?
No slates, individually. I'm nominating those 3 people.
So if you're doing it
Okay.
individually, you have to do that, it has to be an individual motion for each person.
Okay, all right, I make a motion that John Lanky is chairman. I make a motion that,
Okay, just a minute. Their motion has been made to nominate John Lanke as chairperson. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Mr. Robin.
I make a nomination for Mr. Robin as vice chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Mr. Lanke.
And I make a motion that Mr. Canoyer, secretary.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Robin.
So those are, we've got Randy's on the floor now as a slate.
Mhm.
Then we've got, I think you said I can't make an amendment, oh, I can't make an amendment to his, but I don't, you are telling me to vote. So I don't agree with that, but you take it away from now. I make my motion for who I wanted nominated.
Mr. Chair, I suggest before we go any further, you look at the Article 6, Section 3.
The last page is the left hand.
Is that the bylaws, John?
Yes, it is.
You can read.
After you read all 3 sections, Section 2, that's for the next section.
Yes, and so what are you suggesting that?
So what that's saying is, and if I remember correctly, the way it was put in, that is each office or individual office will be handled as what Commissioner Salsi has just said. So you have to do your chair first, and vice chair and secretary. No.
I disagree with your interpretation of
Okay.
those bylaws. Article 6, it's on the second page. I don't see, there's nothing in there that, to my mind, prohibits the nomination of a slate.
I don't think there is anything prohibiting it, but there's also nothing prohibiting for office.
Sure.
That's something we'll have to.
Correct.
Correct.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Mike? I didn't hear all of it.
According to the bylaws, there's nothing prohibiting a slate,
Like, okay,
but there's nothing prohibiting electing by office.
okay.
Yeah.
I just thought we have elected by office.
We've done it both ways, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So what if another person wants to run for chair? How do you handle that?
You gotta be nominated, well,
Nominations are still open.
Okay.
During my union elections. I know, union, just mentioned the word union, it's everything up in the air, right? But we did by office. Only because if somebody wanted to be chairman and they didn't get that position, they could then maybe become the vice chair or union rep, steward or something instead.
It's awesome.
I think for lack of for a better way of dealing with the confusion that the officers should be elected individually. It's much easier, it's simpler, you vote for who you want for chairman. You vote for who you want for vice chair, or you vote for who you want for secretary. It makes it much simpler.
Maybe we should have that in our bylaws.
Yeah, I agree with you, Alan. It should go into the
Next year.
bylaws. It makes it simpler, and I would like to see that happen here tonight, that we use the simple version of Flinders. So in Randy's term, it would be Joseph Perotti Brown as chairman, we vote on that. Or John Lanky, we vote on it. Then we vote for vice chair, and then we vote for secretary. It simplifies it. We don't need to make this complicated.
So then somebody's gotta make a motion to nominate.
Wait, yeah, there's one.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about withdrawing your nomination, Mr.
all right,
Blackburn?
just get this over with. I'll withdraw my nomination for a slate. And my nomination is for Joe Brody Brown for chair.
So Mr. Blackburn's motion nominating the slate is withdrawn. Mr. Blackburn has nominated Joseph Brody Brown to be chairman. Is there a second?
Yes,
Ms. Salsi second.
yep, so that we're getting it singly, yes.
Mr. Provo.
Mr. Blackman made a motion for a nomination
Mhm,
Yeah,
for you to be,
mhm.
but that was not a motion, that's just a nomination, correct?
Yes, the nomination.
Okay, so right now we are open to nominations.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So nominations remain.
Well,
So we have we have nominated for the position of chair, Mr. Lenke and Mr. Perotti Brown.
And I move that we take a vote on that. And then we go and vote on the chair, vice chair.
If I
and then the
withdrew my-
secretary.
I withdrew my slate, motion
Yeah.
for a slate, or a nomination of a slate. Then the slate is off. Now we're down to nomination for two chairs who were both nominated.
Seconded.
Yes, it was seconded by Ms. Halson.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah,
one
it was-
thing that
so we're
wasn't done
voting
was-
right now.
Just a little order, please. Okay. We are not voting on anything yet. Nominations are still open. We have currently, and then I'll get to you, Mr. Provo. We have currently, for the chair, a nomination for Mr. Lanky and a nomination for Mr. Perotti Brown, both seconded. Mr. Krogo, did you have a question?
yes, more a statement. So right now nominations are open and then a motion has been made to close the nomination.
Yep,
A motion has not yet been made.
Right,
to
but
close
that
nominations.
would have to be done before we go any further. So anyone else can be nominated at this point.
Correct.
That has to be closed.
wonderful correction to make. Alvin, I think Were you going to second my motion for slate, my nomination for
Correct.
slate?
I did.
So you have to withdraw your
I
second.
withdraw my second.
Okay. I
Thank you,
think we
Mr.
can all
Hill, and
agree
thank
on
you
that.
for the housekeeping. on that, Mr. Blackmer. Nominations remain open. Are there, and at this time I will call for, are there further nominations for chair?
I move nominations to close.
Are there further nominations for chair? Are there further nominations for chair?
I move nominations be closed
For chair,
for chair.
Chair, I'll
You have to say it
second.
3 times. That I know.
thank you. So Mr. Blackmer has moved, Ms. Salty has seconded, closing the nominations for the election of the chair. All those in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nominations for the chair are closed. We will now vote for chair. Mr. Hill,
Alvin Hill. My vote for Joe can,
Mr. Krogel,
John B.
Mr. Robin,
Blanky.
Ms. Salson,
Blanky,
Mr. Santos.
Joe.
Mr. Lenke,
I will withhold my vote till the end, which I have the right to do.
Mr. Knoyer,
Joe.
Ms. Orr,
Joe.
Mr. Blackburn.
Joe.
I vote for myself, Mr. Lenke.
Myself.
6 votes to 4, Joseph Purdy Brown is chair, elected chair of 6 to 4. There are 10 of us. Okay, the chair has been reelected. Nominations remain open for the vice chair. Currently, Mr. Lenke is nominated for vice chair. Are there, Ms. Salty?
I nominate Mr. Robin for vice chair.
I'm sorry, you're right. Mr. Robin was nominated, not
Yes.
Chair Lenke. I apologize. But I reiterate, the nominations for vice chair are open. Mr. Robin is currently nominated for vice chair. Are there other nominations for vice chair?
Nominate Mr. Lincoln.
Mr. Knoyer nominates Mr. Lenke. Is there a second?
Second.
Was there a second for Mr. Russell? For Mr. Robin?
Yes, it was Mr. Lenke. It was in the before times.
In the before,
Okay.
in the before.
Any other nominations?
I move that we close nomination.
Are there other nominations for vice chair?
One more time.
Are there other nominations for vice chair?
Sorry,
Hearing none, Ms. Salsi,
I move that we close the nominations for vice chair.
seconded, made by Ms. Salsi, seconded by Mr. Hill. That nominations for vice chair be closed. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, a yes vote will close nominations for vice chair. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Motions are closed. Nominations are closed. For vice chair, the candidates are Mr. Robin, Mr. Lenke. Mr. Hill,
Alvin Hill, so I vote for John Lennon.
Mr. Krogo,
John.
Mr. Robin,
Myself.
Ms. Salsi,
Mr. Robin,
Mr. Santos,
Lanky.
Mr. Lenke,
I'll withhold my vote to the end.
Mr. Canoyer,
Mr. Lincoln.
Ms. Orr,
Mr. Linky.
Mr. Blackmer.
John Leahy.
I vote for Mr. Lenke. Mr. Lenke,
Got it.
are you voting or are you abstaining?
Yeah.
voting for yourself?
8 votes for Mr. Lenke, 2 votes for Mr. Robin. Mr. Lenke is elected vice chair of the commission. Nominations for secretary are open. Mr. Canoyer has been nominated for secretary
2 times.
twice,
what?
but one got me dropped, so there's only one nomination for him on the floor. Any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations for secretary?
Is Ryan interested?
Can't do it.
Can't.
He is not yet a full member of the commission, Mr. Krogel.
I see that spark there.
Yep. Any further nominations for secretary?
Move nominations be closed. Secretary, yes, one, well.
All nominations. Mr. Blackmore moves nominations be
I'll
closed,
second it.
seconded by Ms. Solcy. All those in favor of closing nominations, for secretary, say aye. All those in favor of Mr. Knoyer, say aye. All those opposed,
Congratulations.
Yeah. I think he'll be a wonderful secretary.
Item 13, new business, accept commission member John Rice resignation. I'd like to read, Mr. Krogo.
Hello.
Hi.
Were we not supposed to find out from the attorney whether or not Brian was eligible?
You know what, in rereading the bylaws, we had updated our bylaws. I thought we had, I couldn't find it in the spur of the moment of the meeting last month rather. It's not, and here's where I got caught up. It's not in the election of officers section of the bylaws, it's in the officers.
Yeah.
And their duties section. So it is currently in our bylaws. Thank you, Mr. Provo.
So it saved me the call when I looked.
Yeah.
The next morning, I looked in the bylaws, I saw it there, I figured there's no need in checking what the attorney said, because our bylaws would take precedent. And so it's Alvin's fault, because he didn't get those out to us to look at.
Ouch.
20 lashes out.
Copying the other.
That's- Yeah, we didn't update.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I read that in the updated bylaws, not that it changed, but that's when I read it, which was the day after the meeting.
Okay, item 13A. I'd like to read this letter from Mr. Rice. Dated December 8th, 2023, addressed to the town clerk of the town of Thompson. In writing to formally submit my resignation from the Planning and Zoning Commission effective immediately. I have greatly valued my time serving on the commission and appreciate the opportunities it provided. Unfortunately, due to personal reasons, I find it necessary to step down from my position. I'm very grateful for the support and collaboration of my fellow commission members and the dedicated staff during my tenure over the many years. I would like to express my gratitude for the experience and the chance to contribute to the important work of the Planning and Zoning Commission. With my vacancy, I would like to recommend Brian Santos to fill my member's seat. I would also encourage the Board of Selectmen to appoint David Popowski to fill the alternate seat. I wish the commission continued success in its endeavors. Sincerely, Mr. John Rice. And I would take a point of personal privilege to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Rice for his long dedication to the town of Thompson in the Planning and Zoning Commission. And with his resignation, well, we'll have to work a little bit harder. So I'd like to thank John Rice for his service to the commission. Item B, Mr. Lanky.
I would like to make a motion that the resignation is accepted by the commission. That has to be.
Okay, if you.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Lanky, seconded by Mr. Hill. To accept the resignation of Mr. Rice. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 13B, appoint alternate member to replace John Rice. Mr. Lanky.
I would like to have Mr. Santos, if he's up to it, to replace John Rice's seat for the next 2 years.
Second that motion.
Second, yeah, he had a twinkle, I can see it.
Mr. Lanky moves, Mr. Purdy Brown seconds. The appointment of Mr. Santos to fill Mr. Rice's seat.
How many more years does John have?
Two.
Till 25, 25
Two?
more years.
Brian and John were on the same cycle. So they would serve the same length of term regardless.
I think you are too, because you filled Christine Kukowski.
That's mine.
What's that?
That's my cycle too.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And
We're on
JBL's.
that side.
Yeah, yeah.
We're on that side.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, a yes vote will appoint Mr. Santos to complete Mr. Rice's term on the commission. Mr. Black.
I vote for Brian Santos.
Guys, votes for Brian.
Brian Canoy, Brian Santos.
John B. Linky for Brian Santos. Me for me.
It's awesome.
That's a good start.
I'm not waiting to the end, man. I did it.
I know.
Come on, you know better, Jeff, you run a business.
I will vote. Of course.
Mr. Rado,
Yes.
Mr. Groveland.
Yes.
Alvin Hill votes yes. Brian Santos, yes.
Joseph Purdy Brown is a yes. Congratulations, Mr. Santos.
Hard fought battle.
Item 14. Review of ZBA minutes. Were there any questions in that document that was sent to us? Item 15, citizens' comments.
Oh, Valerie's got her hand up.
Ms. Clark.
This your
Mm-mm.
Ms. Clark.
Yes, Valerie Clark, Almer.
Oh. We've got you now. Okay, good.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything that Joe said. If he was calling my name, I couldn't hear it. Did I miss it? I thought you were appointing alternates.
We appointed Mr. Santos to fill Mr. Rice's seat. Alternate will be filled by the Board of Selectmen.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Item 16. Seeing no more citizens' comments.
I see no more.
Item 16, commissioners' comments. Mr. Lanky.
We have to make a motion for you to, that should have been undone on the new business, but that's okay. That you have a letter be sent to the Board of Selectmen, that we have an opening on the alternate position, so they could do their thing to send to the proper
People.
I believe Mr. Linky has moved the authorization of the chair to send the Board of Selectmen a letter notifying them of a vacancy in the alternate seat for the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Krogel seconds the motion. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Mr. Linky.
You're welcome.
Commissioners' comments, further commissioners' comments. Mr. Krogel.
A couple of things. I had brought up at the last meeting, I believe, about the deed restrictions and whether or not Cindy should have anything to do with that when they're coming in for any kind of zoning permit. Have you had any thought on that, Cindy? Leave me alone.
What was your question? Sorry.
About deed restrictions, when a citizen's coming in to do something on their property, they never bring a deed with them to show any restrictions that may prohibit what they are asking us to okay.
I remember now.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that makes any sense.
Minutes and I didn't do it this month.
No, it was just, I just brought up as conversation.
Yeah,
So.
Okay.
Yeah, so is there a way for this office, this body to know if any deed restrictions?
Yeah, absolutely. You just pull the deed. I just tell them, matter of fact,
To bring a copy with them,
yeah,
to save you the place.
Yeah. exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
so-
you. Kevin, you put that in the minutes. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Krogel. What else?
Okay. The other thing is about, and I have nothing against Brian here, because I love him dearly. But in the past, I just want clarification. Did we appoint, because when we appointed Alvin, I thought we had gone by the most senior alternate. I know he is, so there's no issue here. I'm just looking for, again, for clarification. Because I don't think that was in the bylaws or anything anywhere either. So
It was
this is just something else that we have
It
to,
was removed. for that reason.
nomination by the floor now. So it's not by seniority.
No.
Correct.
Okay, I just wanna,
Thank you, Mr.
that's all I
Krogel.
have to say.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I would like to thank all the commissioners here tonight for we finally getting something settled on the old and new business and all that stuff. And I'm gonna give 110% even more. And I will back the chair and stuff like that. But the thing is that we got a new group, a few new people here. And I would like to see this commission to move forward even more. I think we have some potential here. We have a couple good new recruits here, that can help us with the regs and sub-regs and everything going forward, so. You know, we can make things better. I think there's some more, it can be some more improvements. And, you know, in different areas. Yes, we're gonna probably gonna have to make some changes. But I think it's, let's just move forward from now, from this point on. Things have been accomplished to a point, but you know what? Let's move on. That's what I'm gonna do. You might need to.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Mr. Chairman, just to sort of build on that a little bit, we have spoken in the past about January being the month in which members suggest any topics they might want to review for the annual update. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If there are any burning topics that you want to address, bring them to the next meeting. And Kevin, get that in the minutes as well, please. Thank you.
Follow up on that. Now, that's one of my little discussions I had with Ms. Tara is that, you know, I know if we make any type of changes, it could cost us, you know what I mean? So we need to do due diligence with subcommittees meetings as much as, you know, to get things before some of the things that shouldn't be hashed out in a regular meeting. Let's do it in subcommittees, and then if we get it to where it's fine point, you know, we get it to a fine point where we can have it sent to us to vote on it that night. That's how I look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Lincoln. Mr. Carr, Mr. have you received the, this is something Alan put together for us that, highlights, Connecticut general statutes that speak specifically to.
I think he's got.
Okay.
And
I think,
yeah.
so we'll get you one of those as soon as we can. Thank you. Any other commissioners' comments?
I just want, do you have a subdivision regulation in there?
I'm pretty sure I made those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made those at the first one after the election.
Okay, then I will say nothing more than Happy New Year. Thank you to the members of this commission, to our staff for a great 2023, and looking forward to a greater 2024. Which will kick off on January 22nd, right here and on Zoom. And with that, I will entertain a motion for item 17. Mr. Lanky moves we adjourn. Is there a second? All those in favor? This meeting is adjourned at 8:02 p.m.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.